Before I give any introduction, I want to thank each and every veteran out there for everything you have done for our country. The toll I know it has taken on so many of your families, yourselves, your health, that I can never thank you enough for your time and your service, for allowing people like myself the freedom to do the broadcast that we do. And although on my broadcast I've covered how that freedom is tarnished and I've seen your replies, and I can only imagine how difficult that is for you to watch, just know that so many of us will never, ever be able to thank you enough for everything you do. Because without you, we wouldn't have this amazing United States of America. I would not feel so implored with you to continue to protect it. You did it in your way. We do it in ours. But without you, none of it would exist. So happy Veterans Day to all of you. I can't thank you enough. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Truth or Fiction Classified. My name is Justus Knight, and on this broadcast, we're going to cover today how when you look at your TV screens, when you watch your computers, when you pay attention to your phones, and you're listening to news, we have to be more cognizant than ever that what we're watching isn't real. Well, we're going to take it to a whole different level today because many of you already know that what we're hearing isn't real, that storylines are twisted, that headlines are propped up, that the actual message is completely warped into the message that the opposing party wants to hear. Well, I've warned not too long ago, actually, about how artificial intelligence would soon and potentially could be the next version, and I called it the AI Antichrist for a very good reason. Our technology is advancing so quickly at this point in time that it is virtually unidentifiable to know reality from fiction. Another article just propped up over the weekend, and you'll see it here on your screen. AI news anchor makes debut in China. I've seen these articles before, and the picture, okay, is this real? Is this fake? Well, I want you to watch quickly the video before we go any further and discuss where this will, in my opinion, very well lead. And you won't like that outline of where we're heading. So hold on one second and let's watch this video.
Hello, everyone. I'm an English artificial intelligence anchor. This is my very first day in Xinhua News Agency. My voice and appearance are modeled on Zhang Zhao, a real anchor with Xinhua. The development of the media industry calls for continuous innovation and deep integration with the international advanced technologies. I will work tirelessly to keep you informed as texts will be typed into my system, uninterrupted. I look forward to bringing you the brand new news experiences.
What do you think? I made that full screen because I wanted you to see the clarity by which this broadcast is. It's very difficult now and will soon be impossible to tell the difference between a computer-generated news anchor, or as we're about to say, politician, or as we're about to cover, world leader, or as we've covered before, a potential antichrist to rise through this technology. The deceit would be unending. This news anchor in particular can speak on this broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, being fed information from an unnamed source. Because that's what's happening on the backdrop to all this technology. We are no longer able to interpret who's providing the information. Not that we know now, if we think we understand what television news anchors, that they're coming up with all of this on their own. No, they're coming up with it either through the earpiece or through their producers or through the network heads that are telling them what narratives to give. We're all very well aware of that. and it's terrifying. But our military is terrified also. Our military is so terrified. This article here, this published on Technology Review, and you'll see here, I just want to pan up real quickly. This is what they're terrified of: a technology that allows a caricature or a character to be driven by a human expression. So I speak in the background as they're showing on the right, and Vladimir Putin is there speaking as if it's him talking. They've done it with George Bush. They've done it with numerous others. I'm going to show you a few more in a minute. But what happens here is the U.S. military is funding an effort to catch deepfakes and other AI trickery. But DARPA's technologists admit that it might be a losing battle. So the experts who are there, and they're trying to find this trickery, because what happens, and this is starting to lead into my big concern, that if there's a branch of our military overseas and the commander comes across electronically and initiates a launch, initiates an attack, it's my commander sitting on the screen, what am I supposed to do? That's the challenging part, because the U.S. military realizes that that can trigger a war. The article states, think that AI will help put a stop to fake news? The military isn't so sure. You see how they tied something that has absolutely nothing to do with fake news back into fake news. They continue this narrative over and over. I'm about to show you how they used President Obama, an image of President Obama, to reinforce the fake news narrative. The Department of Defense is funding a project that will try to determine whether the increasingly real-looking fake video and audio generated by artificial intelligence might soon be impossible to distinguish from the real thing, even for another AI system. So the other AI may not even be able to tell that the AI is faking it. Scary thought, right? This summer, under a project funded by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, as you all know, DARPA, the world's leading digital forensics experts will gather for an AI fakery contest. They will compete to generate the most convincing AI-generated fake video imagery and audio, and they will also try to develop tools that can catch these counterfeits automatically. Because could you imagine a terrorist, a nefarious war party, getting a hold of the technology and creating something on our screen, such as, let's say, this one, for example?
Or, how about this? Simply, President Trump is a total and complete. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of dystopia.
Now, of course, Jordan Peele is a comedian. And in this article here, watch Jordan Peele use AI to make Barack Obama deliver a PSA about fake news. So again, this narrative of fake news drives me crazy. That's not the story. The story is the fact of what message this new level of artificial intelligence can deliver. What can it trigger? What can it initiate? If you're sitting there and looking at the then President Barack Obama, tell the American people to turn their forces against, let's say, all the banks in the United States of America. They're corrupt and they're stealing money from you. This is the President of the United States, and I want you to go attack them. Those are the implications I'm worried about. There's an enemy in your city. Their name is XYZ. I need you to go find them and bring them to me. And that message is broadcast in every city throughout the United States by what you would see is looking like your president. Imagine the implications. But let's go ahead and rush 5G through, because 5G will make this even better, because 5G is going to allow for the real-time distribution of this high level of video that now would be a little bit choppy if it was to be broadcast on a national network. However, in 5G situation, no problem. Seamless. No glitch. So that's what happens when the production value isn't perfect. That was Senator Ted Cruz's face imposed on the actor Paul Rudd. Hilarious clip, funny, jovial, but again, this kind of shows you where it can even take one step further into once the production value gets to where it needs to be. Once the 5G network is out there and allowing it to flow through quick enough, you won't see these glitches anymore. So this article in particular, it was made, it's called Deepfake Busting Apps Can Spot Even a Single Pixel Out of Place. So now not only is the government trying to come up with this contest on DARPA to find things, but now they're creating something that can find one pixel on a picture out of place. And what you get when that happens is this example here. This is Oxford University's, the college, and you'll see up on top here the LGBTQ flag. Well, it's been doctored out of this photo, and nobody would ever be able to see that. You could be wiped out of a photo. An image could be wiped out of a photo. That could be a U.S. flag. That could be our military saying, we won this fort. We got it. We're victorious. There's the American flag. The opposing government could say, nah, the U.S. never took it over. There's no flag on this picture. What are you talking about? There's no flag here anymore. You see it? Right there? I hope you do. Because what this program has been designed to do is go into that photo and highlight the change. Because that's the necessity to what's happening. This article here, Fake America Great Again. Everybody's concerned about this. MIT's on top of it because they realize the implications of a wartime scenario that this artificial intelligence could trigger. You've seen the United States ex-president, Barack Obama, on the screen. Virtually impossible to tell. Voice, perfect. Done by a comedian in this case, but next time, they're not going to tell you who's doing the talking. And what we can have on our hands is a disaster of epic proportions. This is where technology is moving too quickly with no governance. With no governance whatsoever, and imagine the implications. Imagine when this anchor, which again, virtually unidentifiable, is to being real or fake, gets up and delivers an emergency alert. Leave the city. Troops are coming. Abandon the city. Boom, they come in behind you and take over your city. These are just some of the scenarios of what's coming and what can happen and why I did this broadcast. And I've seen this was shined everywhere. Oh, cool, we got a new Chinese reporter, an artificial intelligence reporter. That's not the story. The story is the technology has taken that next step that I've warned you about. That next step to being unidentifiable. That next step to delivering a message that will stop the world in its tracks, if not initiate a war. And that's what we have to be aware of. I will continue to cover this because I've watched this for a long time. I've watched machines communicate with people. I've had letters written by companies yelling at me because of what I broadcast about their company that was allowing for these machines to gain what they consider a personality. They're machines. They're artificial intelligence. They're algorithms. They're fake. They're false prophets. And that's what we need to be aware of. So I want to thank you each again for tuning in. This has been this most recent episode of Truth or Fiction Classified. I'm your host, Justus Knight, and if you haven't subscribed, I certainly hope you will. And I want to thank so many of you over the weekend who reached out to me to help support this broadcast. That means the absolute world to me. That A, my message means that much to you, and B, that you see the need and you're able to help support it. Because I won't relent, I won't stop. I'll continue to be these broadcasts to bring these broadcasts to you. So Godspeed and God bless. Until next time, my name is Justus Knight, and I can't thank you enough for being here.